What we struggle with as dentists so much is we feel like we spend all this money on marketing and we don't know where it goes or what happens to the patient. We feel uncomfortable because we're out of control. And so much of what we do every day, we're in total control. And so Trackable has given me that control back to where I can sit here and say, hey, this is...
Welcome back to another episode of My Dental Playbook. I'm your co-host, Gary Bird. Along with my friend, Dr. Blake Hamblin, we're going to be diving deep into his office and how he's doubled his collections in just under 12 months. We're also going to be talking about his journey to a $10 million practice and what he needs to do to get there. You're going to see behind the curtain, and Dr. Blake is amazing at sharing the hard details that you need to know so you can do the same too. If you want to grow, this is the show for you. Stay tuned. All right, we are live for another episode, and today we're going to be talking about Dr. Blake's tech stack. And if you want to know what he's doing in his office, how he's managing all these new patients, how he's keeping the most, he has one of the most modern offices out there. You have a golf simulator in it, for goodness sake. So how is he doing that, and how is he doing it cost effectively? We're going to go over his tech stack today. Now, before we jump into this, I want to call out a couple things. Number one, Cherry is our sponsor of this podcast. It's the only sponsor that we have, and their information's right down below. If you want to close more treatment, Dr. Blake's office has a 35% case acceptance for all treatment and 75% for some kind of treatment from his patients. He does that with Cherry. If you want discounted pricing on that, it's down below. Also, we have our mastermind down below. If you've been watching us for a little while and you're like, dude, I'm not growing, I'm not getting the results that we want, come join our mastermind. It's $299, no contract. You can get in, get the information, grow, and then leave. We're actually, our goal is to get people in and out of that group and grow and go on their way. So if you want to jump on there with us, Dr. Blake and I are both there every single month. So would love to have you there for that. So let's jump into this tech stack. I have your whole list right here. You just gave it to me, which is an awesome list. Now, I must say this. Only one of these is our sponsor. None of these other people, we don't get kickbacks. They don't sponsor us. They don't give me a penny, don't give you a penny, right? So I just want to call that out. This is not a sales show. This is not like going to a dental conference where everybody paid to be sponsors and then they get up there and speak to you for an hour about selling you a product. This is just what you're using. And the first one is SprintRay. So tell us a little bit about SprintRay and why that's like the first thing that came out of your mouth when you said my tech stack is awesome.
Yeah, for sure. We got into 3D printing about 4 or 5 years ago when we totally just like jumped ship from taking the old gooey, nasty impressions that so many still take. And we went basically completely digital. We quite literally don't even have alginate in our office to take an impression. And so everything that we do is digital. And so therefore we need to have a way to make things work quickly and keep a lot in-house. So we utilize the SprintRay workflow for so many things, from night guards to printing models for whitening trays. We use it for, now we have a Midas. So we're learning how to do no prep veneers, 3D printed no prep veneers with those. I think technology is going to continue to advance to where, frankly, I believe 3D printing is going to replace milling here pretty soon when the materials get there. And so I want to be kind of on the cutting edge of that and ahead of the learning curve versus being the one that's kind of catching up to that. And so their workflow is really simple for the dental office. And that's what I love about SprintRay.
Okay, awesome. I've heard I don't know anything about that product. So, I mean, I've heard of them, but I hear about them all the time. I just don't know about them because I'm not a dentist. So I think I hear dentists geeking out about SprintRay all the time. Okay, this next one is, they're not a sponsor, but it is a company that I am one of the owners of, but it is something that you use heavily, is Trackable's AI agent. And you actually, the reason this made the list was when earlier in 2025, you started using an AI agent, and we were tracking it. It was bad. Like, it was really bad. It was actually better to go to voicemail. And it's awesome that you love new technology and you try things like that. I love that you do that. So you were like, dude, are you guys going to fix this? Like, I need another AI agent. So I said, look, we're working on one. We'll use it on you first. And we worked out all the bugs on you. And then we had the first full month in December of 2025, and it converted at 80%. And of
Insane.
The 80% conversion, I think all but 2 patients came in and bought treatment, which was amazing. So tell me a little bit about your experience with the AI agent.
Yeah, so the AI agent's been great. I'm super excited about even more development of what you guys are doing kind of coming forward. I think it's going to solve a ton of problems for everybody, but specifically now it's solving the problem of phones being answered 100% of the time and at any point in the day. I can rest assured that if we're spending the type of money that we're spending on marketing, that if a patient calls at 6 o'clock at night, that we can get them scheduled. And I feel really good about that. That's made a huge difference. But I'll tell you, because of this podcast and our relationship, I get a lot of text message, phone calls, emails, and I'm happy to answer them all regarding what does it look like to work with SMC. And I've shared this with almost everybody as part of what I love about SMC. And I know Trackable is a totally different business model for you, but Trackable is a total game changer. I don't care if you use SMC or not. I think you should, but Trackable makes understanding your marketing ROI very, very simple. And what we struggle with as dentists so much is we feel like we spend all this money on marketing and we don't know where it goes or what happens to the patient. And we feel uncomfortable because we're out of control. And then so much of so much of what we do every day, we're in total control. And so Trackable has given me that control back to where I can sit here and say, hey, this is exactly what's going on. And we can diagnose where problems are at. And so I would say whether you're using SMC or using another marketing company, you should use Trackable, period, the end. That way you can hold them accountable and they can hold you accountable. It's been awesome.
And it's funny because when we built SMC, we used to do everything in spreadsheets and we used to dig into people's PMSs and like manually draw everything out. And we were like, dude, we got to be able to track this better. And so we built all these, my business partner, Ryan, he built all these iterations of different marketing dashboards and CRMs and everything like that. And it's been really cool. Unfortunately, dentists aren't in love with CRMs. Like they want the information, but they don't spend a lot of time in them. They don't geek out in them. Rightfully so. They're
I love them.
I know you do. I know, but but most dentists don't love CRMs or even know what a CRM is. The cool part is the AI agent now is going to do the dirty work of the CRM. So the future of the AI agent, I'm talking about in 2026, is going to be able to all missed appointments. It's going to follow up with them with a call or a text. It's all unscheduled treatment. It's going to follow up with them. All people who missed their recare appointment or not recared, it's going to follow up with them. And it's going to do it all automatically. Like you're not going to have to like go in there, press buttons. I want more of this. It's just going to follow up and it's going to slot people in and put people where they want to go.
I think, because I talked with Ryan about this the other day, I think it's not just going to be kind of what everyone else is doing of like, hey, Gary, you missed your appointment. It's going to be like, hey, Gary, you missed your appointment. And then when they respond, it responds back and then they get scheduled.
It has a conversation with them. You won't know it's an AI agent texting with you. You won't know. You'll think it's the office reaching out to you. And it does it all automatically and fills your schedule for everything that you need. And you don't have to think about, oh, I had this missed appointment or this recare and here's the list. Call it. And that's the future. And the only reason we're able to do that, I want to be very clear, is because we have a CRM and we actually know where those holes are. A lot of people who are just building AI agents, they're never going to be able to do that all the way, because if you're just pulling that information from the PMS and that's all, you're not going to get the full story of what's going on with that patient, because even the team doesn't know what the full story is. So
just invite me to the island when you get one.
Yo, 100%. Yeah. No, you're on the island. So if you want special pricing on this, we have right now $299 for the AI agent, no contract. The link's down below. So make sure that you check that out. Again, they're not a sponsor of the podcast. I'm a partner in that company. So just so everybody's aware, but it's spun out of SMC, just so everybody's aware. Okay, let's talk about the next one. So PrimeScan. Tell me about PrimeScan and why that's such an awesome piece of tech.
Yeah, so we just talked about SprintRay, and I think they will eventually be the leader in that space. But until then, I think the easiest way to integrate same-day dentistry into your office is through CEREC, which is Dentsply Sirona or PrimeScan. And single-handedly, one of the coolest things that I've ever done in dentistry is still almost to this day is do same-day dentistry. I think patients are just blown away by it. I couldn't imagine having to make temporaries all day long. Like just being able to prep a tooth, mill it, glue it in, and all in about an hour and a half. And it fits perfectly every single time. And you have total control over that process. I love it. It's worked super good in our office, and I don't know why more dentists haven't adopted it, but I love it.
That's awesome. Okay, let's talk about the next one: Align and iTero.
Yeah, so we've kind of gone back and forth. We used Invisalign for a long time, and there for a while, I felt like we were starting to get a little nickel and dimed by the company, and so I kind of started playing around with other Sure Smile, Spark. There's different clear aligner companies that you can use, and so I eventually decided, hey, it might make sense to go back to Invisalign because I discovered a friend of mine's business called Dental Life, and Dental Life is a group that helps save money on your Invisalign bill, and so it made choosing Invisalign based off of the cost a lot easier, and it made going through Align and kind of embracing their philosophy of utilizing the iTero on as many patients as possible more digestible for me, and so we strictly do Invisalign in our office right now, and it's worked really good. The iTero is by far the favorite scanner in our office. Our assistants, if they can, they use that. They don't like the PrimeScan. The doctors love the PrimeScan. They love the iTero. It works really well.
Why the difference? Why does one like the one more than the other?
Yeah, so the PrimeScan, we use it the most as the doctor because we're taking the scans of everything, and so we're kind of used to how to get it at the right angle and this, that, and the other. But the one thing it doesn't do is it doesn't cut out tissue. Whereas the iTero, you can scan the lip and it knows that's not supposed to be part of the scan. And so the AI just kicks it out. And so the assistants can kind of just like turn their head and start scanning, and they love it.
Okay. So it's just ease of use is awesome. Okay. MouthWatch.
Yeah. So and I think Autumn talked about this on the podcast a while back, but we have intraoral cameras in every operatory, and I don't believe in using intraoral cameras to necessarily sell treatment to patients. Now, I think it's a good starting point, but I think if you want to do full arch dentistry, you need to be taking full arch photos. But we utilize the MouthWatch specifically for insurance purposes. So before every single crown, we take a picture of the tooth, we take the crown off, we take a picture of what it looks like, we clean out the decay, we take a picture of what it looks like, we do the build-up, take a picture of the build-up. So then when the insurance company comes back around and wants to say, no, you weren't supposed to do that, or you couldn't do that, or we're not paying for it. Well, we have photography to show exactly why we did what we did. And it makes us, it helps our, when we have to fight against those insurance companies, it helps us a ton. So we've doubled down on doing that.
Awesome. Okay. So another product that I know that you love is Practice by Numbers. And sometimes I've had people tell me like, what should I use? Trackable or Practice by Numbers? I'm like, they're different.
Yeah. So we've kind of, I've done the route of have an analytics platform and a PMS platform and all of that. And what I identified really early with Practice by Numbers is I felt like, one, they had really good service, but number two, I felt like they were stealing isn't the right word, but they were taking the things that other bigger companies that were doing the same thing were doing and integrating it into them. So they were constantly growing and developing. They were saying, okay, well, everyone's doing the phone AI thing, so let's do the phone AI thing. And then, so there's really nothing that Practice by Numbers doesn't do that other companies do, and you only have to pay one company. And so you don't have all these different things floating around where you kind of forget the rules of the game and all that stuff. It's just like,
so what's the main things that you use it for?
So all of our automated text messages, emails, all of that stuff goes there. Our online booking platform is through Practice by Numbers. Our analytics are through Practice by Numbers. We use their phone service through Practice by Numbers. And so we're almost 100% vertically integrated with Practice by Numbers in our practice. Yeah.
Okay. And so when I think of Practice by Numbers, I always think of it like an analytic dashboard, but it's so much more than that. And from the analytic standpoint, just so, and like another one would be like, I think of Dental Intelligence is like another analytic dashboard. People get really confused because they're like, wait, I have a PMS. Why can't I see everything? Well, PMS is bottom of funnel tracking. Practice by numbers is like middle of funnel, or Dental Intelligence is like middle of funnel tracking. So like what's happening to those patients mid journey. And then trackable is top of funnel tracking, which I know that's confusing, but that's what it is. That's the actuality of it.
And there's another analytics platform that frankly I think is probably one that a lot of people should utilize that they don't know exists or don't use. What's it called?
Divergent.
Thank you.
Yeah, Divergent. Sorry.
Yeah, so there's another one that I think a lot of people should utilize, and they just aren't aware that it's there. It's called Divergent Dental, and you can't get lost in the weeds in Divergent. Divergent sends you an email, and it says, "This is how many new patients you scheduled. This is how many. This is what you produced. This is what you collected." Very, very minimal detail.
And the reason that's so important is what I have seen is doctors get lost in the sauce because they love numbers and they love analytics. They just do. And the problem is that you can get so many analytics and one's telling you to go up and one's telling you to go down. And you actually end up freezing. You actually end up not acting instead of acting. And what I love about Divergent is I can see the clarity that it brings you. You still need all the other platforms because you're like, wait, what's going on with this or that or the other? Let's go figure it out. But for you, you're just like, no, I know my North Star. It's in Divergent and we're heading towards it. So we're good. And then you can go and tweak on the other things if you want.
Like in practice by numbers, I'll go in and I'll say, okay, like what is our reactivation rate, right? And how are we doing in reactivating patients? But Divergent doesn't give me that information. Divergent's going to tell me, this is what you produced, this is what you collected, this is the new patients, kind of top tier stuff. That's all you need.
Got it. That's awesome. Okay. And then the other one, I had Cherry on here because I think they're a great piece of technology. They are sponsors. You do use them. You were using them before they were sponsors. They also sponsor our group. Like I would say probably 60 to 70% of my clients use them. And what I'm trying to do is get everybody to use them properly. So you should be leading every new patient call with monthly payments. With Cherry, it will absolutely skyrocket your patient experience and your case acceptance and your productions and your collections, and it will help you overcome your insurance problem. It solves like a boatload of problems all at once, but I know you don't want to pay that little extra fee. Just do it, try it, and see if it totally changes your life. We won't spend much.
Yep, you'll love it.
Anything else you want to add on that?
No, you'll love it. Just do it.
So links down below. We got special pricing for that. And then lastly, this one's really cool. So merchant cost consulting.
Yeah. So I went to a Bulletproof Summit probably 4 or 5 years ago with I believe it was in Austin, and they'd mentioned this, and it was kind of a sidebar deal. But what happens is every month we get our merchant fees, and we've decided in our practice right now it's not something we want to do is to pass on the merchant fee. We're not ready to do that. And so what merchant cost consulting does is they review our statement every month, and they see, have these companies slowly creeped rates up? Are they charging us fees that they shouldn't be charging? Are there things going on that shouldn't be in our bill? And what I love about them is that you don't pay them a monthly fee. You pay them a percentage of whatever they save you. So they're incentivized to work really hard to save you money and save every penny that they can. And we've really turned them into more of a consultant type of role in our office, to where we're asking them, is the merchant that we're using, is that the best merchant we could use? Because you're looking at bills and thousands of bills every month, and you see which merchant is the best merchant and the most reliable. And
question for you: how do they weigh cost and quality? And right, because you might pay $99 a month for internet, and another guy down the street pays $200, but his is like super fast and always up, and yours is like spotty and slow. Like how would they weigh that?
Yeah, so they're more so weighing the fees that the merchant is charging. So as you know, like if you pay via swipe versus tap versus Apple Pay, there's different fees associated with that. And so they're measuring that. What we would compare is volume. So in a similar size practice, do you see that there's less fees associated with one merchant than another? And so we've really kind of leaned on them. But that was a hack that I just kind of like, I think I overheard it, and I was like, I'm going to look into that. And we've been using them for the past like 4 or 5 years, and it's been great.
That's awesome. Okay, this is really, really good. Anybody else that we forgot? This is the whole. I gave you the whole list, so
I'm sure there is, but if not, we'll catch you on the next ones.
All right. If you've watched this far, drop down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you. What is your favorite piece of tech stack that you love that you can't live without? And it wasn't mentioned today. I would love to hear about that.